Today I'm going to show you how to bake foolproof bacon. That's right, I said bake. And wait until you see how easy it makes for the cleanup and extra crispy bacon. Plus, I'm going to share with you my spring asparagus and creamy ricotta omelet, just in time for breakfast. Hey guys, I'm Shereen with Cook This. First to get started on our bacon. So I've heated my oven to 400 degrees and the bacon will take about 15 to 20 minutes to bake. So I have 1 pound of bacon and then you just want to separate each slice onto 2 sheet trays. So you want rimmed sheet trays and you want to line them with foil. So that's what makes for easy cleanup. So my friends, Jeanette and Skip, I call him Picky Pants because he's super picky. So it was summertime, we were at the beach, and Picky Pants was making his bacon this way. And I never made my bacon this way, never in the oven. And when it came out, it was foolproof. Super crispy, evenly crisp, evenly browned, and the cleanup was a cinch because all you have to do is wrap up the foil and toss it. Done. Guess what? It's the only way I make my bacon now. So I'm going to divide half a pound to each sheet tray. You don't want to overcrowd it. You'll steam it and it won't get crisp and brown. So between 2 sheet trays is the way to do it. All right, we're all set. Into the oven, 400 degrees. So now it's time to make our omelet. So here's a great little trick. So check out my asparagus. So when you buy your asparagus in the grocery store, you can actually just put it on your countertop in a vase with a little bit of water in the bottom just to keep the roots hydrated, and you can keep them at room temperature. So we need 6 asparagus. So I'm only gonna make 1 omelet right now, but this recipe actually makes 2. So you just want to trim the ends, those fibrous ends, we don't need those. They can be tough. And then you want to have it lengthwise. So the reason why we're doing this is so we can speed up the cooking time, and it's unpleasant in your omelet to have these big chunks of asparagus. Now once we have them lengthwise, you want to just cut 2-inch pieces crosswise. Perfect. Heat up our 8-inch nonstick skillet. So eggs can be the trickiest things to make. Really, your best chefs are super particular about your eggs. Eggs should never be overcooked. They are really delicate, just like seafood is, and it should be just cooked. So I'm going to show you the perfect way to make an omelet. All right, into my pan, we have a little bit of butter. We're going to add the asparagus. Season with a little salt and pepper. So first we want to saute the asparagus and get it going before we add our eggs. Where's my pepper? Can't find my pepper. All right, now I have 3 eggs, 3 whole large eggs. I've been finding that the cage-free and the organic eggs, range-free eggs, have been so creamy that I don't really add a lot of cream, just a little whisper. You really sometimes don't have to add any cream at all. They're just so delicious. Plus the butter helps. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Now I just need to whisk it. And you don't want to over whisk it. Remember, they're delicate, they're gentle, just until they're combined. That's all eggs need. Kind of have to baby them. And Coco hears me whisking eggs. She loves eggs. Okay, so we're just going to saute the asparagus for about 2 minutes. We don't want it to be tender crisp. My family loves breakfast food. I'm not a huge fan of breakfast food, But my kids, my husband especially, Andreas and Kostas, love breakfast. So this is a great one for spring, especially with all the beautiful asparagus that is popping up in our farmers markets and grocery stores. This is another way to really incorporate them and use them at their best. All right, so now we're going to decrease the heat to medium-low. Remember, we're babying our eggs. So I remember my father, when he would make eggs, he really taught me the best way. He would make his scrambled eggs and he would actually take them off the heat a little bit wet. Because you got to remember, there's carryover cooking with eggs. Once they're out of the skillet, they continue to cook. And when they are cooked just right, they're so creamy. No better way than to eat eggs. All right, so obviously I'm sure a lot of you have made omelets. Best way is just keep tilting the pan and pulling back the eggs. So that way it keeps hitting the direct heat, cooking the egg. And once we kind of get them set, we'll increase the heat just a little bit. So this is all about cradling your heat, babying the eggs, and getting them to set. And at the end, they'll be a little bit wet on top, but as long as they're not runny, we're good. Okay, now for the ricotta. So I have a whole milk ricotta. You want to bring it out at room temperature half an hour before so it's not cold in your omelet, because it's not going to be there really long. But it's going to give such great texture, creamy texture. So good. I'm just adding it to one side of the omelet. That way we can flip it. It's not too heavy on the other side and it flips really nice. Now loosen your perimeter and then just tilt over the one side. All right, you can be brave and flip it, or just remove it from the heat and cover it, and then the steam will just sort of further set the top. Maybe needs about 30 seconds, and meanwhile I have a little bit of arugula. And I'm just going to drizzle just a smidge of a good extra virgin olive oil. Season it with some salt and pepper. And this is going to go right over top of our eggs. All right, so let's check it out. Perfect. Beautiful. So it has nice color, lightly golden. You don't really want it to be too dark. Pretty that is. Just gently tossing the arugula, and then we're going to go check on our bacon. So I'm going to just keep our omelet warm while the bacon is in the oven. All right, our bacon is perfect. All right, so the reason why I don't like to add a cooling rack or some sort of rack, typically a lot of people will do that. I want the bacon to cook in its fat. That's why it's so crispy. Now we're just going to remove it to a paper towel to get rid of some of that fat and totally save this rendered fat here. It's awesome for sauteing, even making your eggs in that fat too. All right, did you see this bacon? I mean, come on, who doesn't love bacon? I even have Isabella making the bacon on Sunday morning. It's that easy. All right, let's taste our omelet. So pretty. Now the arugula on top will wilt ever so slightly from the heat of the omelet. So good. Have that little peppery note from the arugula, the creaminess from the ricotta, and that asparagus. Tastes so fresh. So creamy, the eggs are creamy. That ricotta makes it even creamier. For this recipe, go to the newspaper's website. I'm Shereen with Cook This. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next week.